Milbrook was a small town, nestled quietly between rolling hills and endless fields, where the pace of life seemed to slow down with every sunrise. It looked like it belonged in a storybook, with its rows of vintage houses, white picket fences, and gardens bursting with color in the spring. People left their doors unlocked, trusting their neighbors as if they were family, and children played in the streets until the sun dipped below the horizon, their laughter echoing through the quiet lanes. Everyone knew the names of their neighbors, and it was common to stop and chat at the local bakery, sharing stories over fresh bread, or to exchange warm greetings on the way to church each Sunday morning. Life moved slowly here, with a gentle rhythm that made every day feel familiar and safe. People trusted one another without question, lending a hand whenever it was needed. The school bus always arrived on time, its cheerful yellow paint a daily promise of routine, and smiles were shared at the general store every morning as neighbors picked up their groceries and caught up on the latest news. In Milbrook, news traveled fast, carried on the breeze and whispered over cups of coffee, but gossip rarely turned cruel. Instead, it was more about sharing life's little moments than spreading rumors. Laughter and kindness were the sounds that filled the air, as friends gathered on porches to share jokes, and neighbors looked out for one another in ways big and small. The old oak tree in the park was a gathering place for generations, its sturdy branches sheltering children's secrets, and the quiet conversations of old friends. Under its shade, time seemed to stand still. Families had lived in Milbrook for generations, their stories woven into the very fabric of the town. Old family photos lined the mantels, reminders of a shared past and a sense of belonging. They celebrated together during the summer fair, with laughter and music filling the air. And when winter storms arrived, neighbors came together to shovel snow and share hot cocoa, turning hardship into community. The police officer greeted everyone by name, always ready with a friendly wave or a helping hand. The town's problems were usually small: lost pets, a missing bicycle, or the occasional stray cat needing a home. Big crimes just didn't happen here. The police station was often empty, and the streets were so peaceful that even the night seemed to rest easy. Milbrook was a place where memories were made in the simplest of ways. Picnics in the park, bike rides down quiet lanes, and the comfort of knowing you belonged. But all of this would change, and Milbrook would never be the same again. The peace that had defined the town for so long was about to be shattered, leaving everyone to wonder if life could ever return to the way it was. Sarah Whitman was one of the town's brightest lights, a person whose presence seemed to make every day a little warmer, and every street a little friendlier. She was a young teacher at Milbrook Elementary, known for her warm smile and gentle voice, the kind of teacher who remembered every child's birthday and always had a kind word for anyone who needed it. Sarah loved her students, and they loved her in return. Her classroom was a place where laughter and learning went hand in hand, and where every child felt safe and valued. She helped with school plays, organized bake sales, and always stayed late to help a child who struggled. People trusted Sarah, knowing she would always go the extra mile for her students and her community. She volunteered at the library, reading stories to children on Saturday mornings, and every Sunday she sang in the church choir, her voice lifting spirits and bringing people together. Her parents had lived in Milbrook all their lives, and Sarah's kindness seemed to come from them. The Whitmans were known for their generosity, and Sarah carried on that tradition with pride. She was the kind of person who made everyone feel special simply by listening and caring. Whether it was a friend in need or a stranger passing through, Sarah always had time to offer a smile or a comforting word. Sarah had a close group of friends, but she was friendly with everyone. She was the one who organized picnics in the park, and made sure no one ever felt left out at community gatherings. She had been dating Ethan Miller, a mechanic in town, for almost a year. Their relationship was the talk of Milbrook, and people often remarked on how happy they seemed together. They were often seen together at the diner, sharing milkshakes and laughter, or walking hand in hand by the river at dusk, lost in conversation and dreams for the future. The town hoped they would get married one day. It was as if everyone in Milbrook was rooting for their happiness, seeing in them the promise of new beginnings. Sarah's future looked bright, filled with hope and possibility, and no one expected that something terrible could ever happen to her. In a town as close-knit as Milbrook, tragedy always feels impossible until the day it arrives. It was a Friday night when Sarah disappeared. She had spent the evening at her friend Lisa's house, laughing and talking like always. Around 10 p.m., Sarah hugged Lisa goodbye and said she would walk home. Her house was only a short distance away, and the night was warm and quiet. When Sarah didn't show up for breakfast the next morning, her mother grew worried. She called Sarah's phone, but there was no answer. At first, everyone thought Sarah might have slept in or gone for an early walk. But as the hours passed, worry began to spread. By noon, Sarah's parents called the police. They explained that Sarah never missed plans and always let them know if she was running late. The police took the report seriously, but at first, they hoped Sarah would walk through the door soon, safe and smiling. But as the day wore on and there was still no sign of Sarah, fear began to grip Milbrook for the first time. By Saturday afternoon, the whole town was searching for Sarah. Volunteers gathered at the community center, and the police organized search parties. People brought flashlights and walked through the woods, calling Sarah's name over and over. Local farmers checked their barns and fields. Even children helped, looking along the riverbank. As night fell, worry turned into panic. Mothers hugged their children tightly, and fathers locked their doors for the first time in years. The police set up a hotline, and tips began to come in. Some people thought they saw Sarah's blue jacket near the old bridge, but nothing was certain. The local news arrived, and soon reporters stood on Milbrook's quiet streets. Their cameras showed the fear and confusion on people's faces. No one had ever seen the town like this, so scared, so desperate for answers. Every hour without Sarah felt heavy, and hope was starting to fade. On Sunday morning, the first clue appeared. A fisherman noticed a car parked awkwardly by the old bridge outside town. It was Sarah's car. The keys were still in the ignition, her purse on the seat. The police quickly cordoned off the area and began searching the riverbank. A few hours later, another clue surfaced. A silver bracelet, one Sarah always wore, was found tangled in the reeds by the water's edge. It was muddy but still shining. Nearby, detectives noticed tire tracks in the soft ground, tracks that didn't match Sarah's car. The news of these discoveries spread quickly. Some people began to cry. Others whispered in shock. The clues suggested that something terrible had happened, but there were no answers, only more questions. Everyone in Milbrook clung to hope, but deep down, fear was turning into dread. Ethan Miller, Sarah's boyfriend, quickly became the focus of attention. He had been the last person to text her that night. Ethan told the police he was home alone, working on his truck in the garage. But, some people remembered seeing him near the bridge earlier that evening. Others said they heard loud voices from his house. The police questioned Ethan for hours. He looked tired and nervous, but he insisted he knew nothing about Sarah's disappearance. Still, the rumors grew. Some whispered that Ethan and Sarah had argued recently. Others said he was jealous when Sarah spent time with friends. Ethan's friends defended him, saying he loved Sarah and would never hurt her. But doubts began to spread. Even small towns can turn suspicious when fear takes hold. Every glance, every word was now weighed and watched. Milbrook was no longer a town built on trust. Fear and suspicion were taking root. As days passed with no sign of Sarah, Milbrook changed. Neighbors stopped talking to each other. Friends who had once shared meals now crossed the street to avoid one another. Rumors ran wild. Some blamed outsiders, others accused longtime residents. Families argued about what to believe. Some thought Ethan was innocent, while others were certain he was guilty. The local diner, once filled with laughter, grew silent and tense. Even the church felt different. People prayed for Sarah, but they also watched each other closely, wondering who might be hiding something. The police worked day and night, but the pressure was intense. The town demanded answers, but none came. Every new rumor caused more fear, and the sense of safety Milbrook once knew was gone. Trust, once Milbrook's greatest strength, was now broken. A week after Sarah disappeared, the town got the answer it dreaded most. A group of teenagers, exploring the abandoned quarry outside Milbrook, found something terrible. Sarah's body, hidden at the bottom of the rocky pit. The police rushed to the scene and quickly closed off the area. Detectives found more evidence at the quarry. Sarah's jacket was torn, and near her body they found footprints and tire marks that matched those at the bridge. Forensic teams worked all night, collecting clues. The truth was becoming clear, and it was worse than anyone could have imagined. The news spread quickly. People wept openly in the streets. Shops closed their doors, and flags were lowered to half-mast. Milbrook was in shock. A sense of loss and fear hung over the town like a storm. The innocence of Milbrook was gone, replaced by heartbreak and confusion. Under relentless questioning and mounting evidence, Ethan finally broke down and confessed to the police. The weight of his secret had become too much to bear, and in that stark, fluorescent-lit room, he admitted everything. He explained that he and Sarah had gotten into a heated argument by the old bridge that night. Their voices echoed in the darkness, words sharp and emotions running high, as the river below rushed on, oblivious to the tragedy about to unfold. In a sudden, uncontrolled moment of anger, Ethan pushed Sarah. She stumbled backward, lost her footing, and fell, striking her head on the cold, unforgiving stones. The accident happened so quickly, but its consequences would last forever. Overcome with panic and fear, Ethan tried desperately to cover up what had happened. He carried her body to the quarry, hoping to hide the evidence of his actions, but the truth would not stay buried for long. When Ethan's confession came out, it sent shockwaves through Milbrook. Even those who had quietly suspected him were stunned by the details. The trial that followed was swift, but the emotional impact lingered. The evidence against Ethan was overwhelming. His fingerprints on Sarah's belongings, tire tracks matching his car near the quarry, and his own signed confession sealed his fate. The jury deliberated for only a short time before finding him guilty. Ethan was sentenced to a long prison term, leaving the community to grapple with the aftermath. Still, people struggled to make sense of it all. How could someone they'd grown up with, someone they trusted, be capable of such a terrible act? The sense of disbelief and betrayal ran deep. Milbrook would never forget Sarah Whitman. Her memory became a symbol of lost innocence and the fragility of life in their small town. In her honor, The school planted a beautiful garden, a living memorial where students and families could gather, reflect, and remember the bright spirit they had lost. But the town itself was changed forever. Where doors were once left open, now they were locked. Neighbors who once trusted each other now looked over their shoulders. Parents watched their children more closely, holding them a little tighter, warning them to be careful in ways they never had before. Trust was slow to return, and the memory of that tragic night hung over everything, casting a long shadow on daily life. Milbrook learned a hard lesson. No place is immune to tragedy. Even the safest towns can hide danger, and once innocence is lost, it's nearly impossible to reclaim. The scars of that night would remain, shaping the town's future for years to come.